So a lot of people have come up to me and said, this has been a lifesaver. To make sure it's enjoyable, all our team leaders, we make no judgment on anyone, and we accept everybody. So, whether you're a Saudi or you're an expat, whether you're a couch potato, you've never moved to we make no judgment. And I think that's a big thing, when you have an event or when you're greeting people, to make no judgment and have no expectations of people. In Riyadh has exploded with fitness communities. There are many, so many.
Welcome to Success Saudi, a podcast featuring leaders and entrepreneurs in KSA. Our aim is to provide you with local tips and wisdom on your own journey to success. My name is Maria Kamedi, and I'm here today with Zuzana Kalous. Zuzana is the founder of the RWG community, which is the largest women's fitness community in Saudi Arabia. Their aim is to make fitness accessible for all. I'm really excited about our interview today. Zuzana is going to share about her own journey, moving to Riyadh, starting up RWG, and the lessons she's learned along the way. Thank you, Zuzana, for being with us today. Can you start by telling us about your life leading up to coming to Riyadh and what brought you here?
Yes, before I was in Riyadh, I was in Dubai. Been in the Middle East. I think it was 2007 that I arrived in Dubai. I was actually offered a job managing and setting up fitness facilities for a hotel chain. And then the recession hit. I think it was December 2008 when that happened.
Okay.
So everything fell apart. But I was kept on because they need sports and fitness. So I had many years in that industry setting up fitness facilities. And then just life happens, and I was presented with an opportunity in the media industry, and then I got poached from that industry into construction industry, where I met my husband, and then we moved to Riyadh. So that's my journey leading up to here. But whilst in Dubai, I was very active in the fitness and sporting industry as my background as a kid, as a young adult and into, adulthood. So I was very active there in, I was doing amateur fighting, I was doing competitive road cycling. So that's what I was doing on the side whilst working. And yeah, that's where I've ended up now, here.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Australia. So it's the epicenter of, being outside and fitness.
Did you move to Riyadh primarily for your own career or your husband's?
My husband's career, yeah.
Okay.
To support him, life was different, back 5, 6, 7 years ago in Riyadh,
Yeah.
It really wasn't a woman's world in Riyadh. So yeah, I came in a supportive role for him.
And how did you feel about making that move?
Having been in the Middle East quite a long time, I have to admit, I wasn't really apprehensive at all. You hear these stories, people are very quick to make judgment about Middle Eastern countries and in particular Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Most of which, for myself, were not true. And I was actually excited at the thought of going to living in a different GCC country. I was like, oh, Saudi, okay, well, let's see where this takes us. So there was actually maybe a little bit of apprehension because of the negativity in the media, but then a lot of excitement because I didn't really know what to expect.
Did you know anyone here that was living here?
Absolutely not a single soul. So you arrive here, it's incredibly lonely. Incredibly lonely.
How did you get acclimated? I mean, how long did it take you to find your ground here?
Again, Saudi today isn't what it was all those years ago.
Yeah.
It takes some time. And I have to admit, I got here and it was November. Now, it's hard for people to believe that Riyadh can get really, really cold in winter. So it was November when I arrived and it rained non-stop for 3 days. It was so cold. And I found that really depressing. My stuff from Dubai hadn't arrived. I didn't have any winter clothes. I'm a huge cyclist, cycling equipment, and I was really depressed. I was really down. I thought, oh no, have we made a mistake? So it was difficult to start off with because life was so different. I would say probably it took probably a year to really just get into a lifestyle, settle in, become familiar with my surroundings, become familiar with the customs and the culture, because it is so different to the city of Dubai where I was living.
Moving anywhere can be a challenge. It can be lonely.
Absolutely.
Until you find your community.
Right.
So we're going to talk about the RWG community, but do you find through your conversations with your members, like how are their experiences now moving to Saudi Arabia? I'm sure you have a lot of newcomers to the country. What do they tell you?
That's a really good question. We host dozens of activities every week, and we welcome everyone and anyone. It can be locals, nationals, it doesn't matter. So we get so many newcomers every week. And there's a great platform called Instagram.
Yeah.
And, you can put in a few keywords, as for what you're looking for. And we're fortunate enough that when people look for women's fitness groups, we obviously come up in that search. So a lot of people have come up to me and said, this has been a lifesaver. I know no one. I went to, we work closely with the Indian embassy here in Riyadh. And a lady, she's a teacher here. I think she said she'd arrived 5 weeks ago. So it was the 5th weekend in Riyadh. She said, I don't know a single person. So she came over to the yoga and like the RWG community, we're a family, so we entice everyone to get active by rewarding them with a coffee or something afterwards, So I said to her, why don't you join us for coffee? And she comes from South Africa, this lady, and she said, I would never get in the car with strangers I've never met. I've met you guys for the first time. You've made me feel so welcome. I'm getting in a car with you. And, I've only met you in this short time. So I guess for her, that journey has been somewhat comforting to know that there are communities like us that you can simulate and integrate into a community, not just with expats, but also a lot of Saudi nationals. And it makes them feel like they found a new home.
So tell us about starting RWG. When did you get the idea? How did that come about?
So as I was explaining before, I arrived in 2016 and I'm an amateur cyclist, so I like to do long distance riding. And I was actually on the compound, and every day I was heading to the gym because my bikes were stuck on the back of a truck. And I was training for something called the Gran Fondo. So that's a sanctioned UCI race, a cycling federation body that actually backs up this race, and they go around the world looking for amateur riders. So I was here in the gym, I was cycling, and then I was doing some what I call functional training because my background is fitness. So I studied at the Institute of Fitness in Australia as a gym instructor, a personal trainer, and then a master trainer. Master trainer just legally allows you to train people in an outdoor environment as to opposed just indoors. So I was in the gym and I was doing some functional training to strengthen the legs and the body and some of the ladies were like, oh, this is really interesting. Can we do a bit of this, what you're doing? And I'm like, well, these moves, I'm just, I'm training for a race. And they're like, but, you look like you know what you're doing. So I was like, yeah, sure. So all of a sudden I had 2 or 3 ladies that would just stand in the gym copying what I was doing. And then a few weeks later, it was another 3 and then another 3 and then another 3. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to fit in this gym.
And which gym was this?
Is this just on the compound?
Okay.
Just on the compound where I was living. So anyway, we were just, we took a room and started doing again, it was qualified in teaching classes, but back then, the whole fitness industry for women, as you know, was not really existent, So all of a sudden, here comes this lady who kind of knows what she's doing. And they were so excited, So we started exercising in a room together. Then somebody said, do you reckon we could maybe all of us as a group, do you reckon we could go hiking? Do you reckon we could go walking somewhere? And that's how it all started, by just doing one thing at the gym. And it just went from absolutely nothing to something. I never expected this. Never.
So in the beginning, it just came about organically. You didn't have a plan to start this fitness community.
Zero plan. Nothing.
So as it started to evolve a little bit and you actually did organized activities, did you make a plan for it? Or it just came to like one step after the other?
It just rolled. It just rolled. I never... Oh, I thought, oh, yeah, it's just a little fad, the ladies will get bored of it. But, the crazy thing was, I was like, it's Riyadh, people come and go. I'm sure, my husband and I will leave, like, it'll be over, whatever. And then his job was going really well. There was no foresight of leaving. And then the ladies here on this compound were like telling their friends, and those friends were telling their friends. And their friends were like, do you know there's this group and this lady runs it for free? It was this thing like she's running for free. And she does classes and they're doing walks and you should come along. And then this is where it just spiraled out of control. It's like it just grew, it snowballed into what we are now. So yeah, it was a sheer coincidence.
As we keep saying, it was different at that time, especially for women in fitness. There weren't even any female gyms, I think or maybe only a few.
I think it was Fitness Time for Women was like the first major chain that was starting to pop up
at that time.
But just, I mean, it was on the cusp of just happening. So it really...
And now there's so many.
Oh, there's thousands. They're everywhere. Yeah.
Were there any challenges for you as you started to... I don't want to say like be more official, but actually organize activities like outside of the compound?
Yes and no. No, because I didn't really know what I was doing and where things were going. So I didn't see challenges from that perspective. I want to grow it into what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, we had an incident a number of years ago. And I look back and I laugh now. And I think anyone watching this will understand where I'm coming from. Just before I jump to that, through, the current leadership of this country, they've set up a department, the Ministry of Sports has set up a department called SFA, which is Saudi Federation for All. And we're a registered sports club with them. And they're huge supporters of us and of many other clubs doing similar things to what we do. So, they were like encouraging us, please go out there, walk in malls, do this, do that. So we did have the backing of government officials, not just us, but everyone saying, you're doing a great job, keep doing it. So I remember thinking, oh, great, we've got this great backup. We'll go to a mall here in Riyadh and there must have been 20 or 15 ladies and we'd put stickers on our back, purple stickers saying RWG. So security started running after us because they thought we were protesting. So we had to, and they're like, oh, we've captured them. So we were like, had to explain, no. This is a sticker promoting a women's fitness group. And once they realized what we were doing, they're like, oh, very good, Michelle, keep going. So those were the kind of obstacles we faced, were having groups of women, even 3 years ago, it was a bit weird to see big groups of women wearing sneakers walking around a mall, So they were the challenges we faced, those little things. We would try to go to the DQ and the security would be like, why is there so many ladies? Well, because we're walking. So this was a new concept.
Yeah, just unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are your members?
Women. Any woman. Women.
I've seen some gentlemen join some of the classes too, is that right?
So we are an all-women's free fitness community. Sometimes there are chargeable events. So a lot of my team leaders said to me, can we incorporate a point where we can bring family? So there are once a month, for example, on our Monday night DQ walk, we call it a family night. So we encourage women to bring their sons, their husbands, along on the walk, because this whole concept of fitness has been, it's kind of lagging to some degree, in the Middle East for a while. It's picking up now. It's been absent, So we're trying to encourage not just movement in the women's life, but in her family's life. And the other thing we encourage during the month of Ramadan it's the holy month of purity and family time. So we actually do encourage the women to bring their families, again, their sons, their husbands. We would like to think in those times that maybe the husbands, maybe the sons will see the benefit in being active, in being healthy, to give them a healthier, longer lifestyle. So yeah, we do have a few things that where we do encourage the family unity in terms of getting together and being active.
That's great.
Yeah.
And as an object in motion stays in motion, so maybe just getting them started, like you're saying, will
That's all they might
inspire their own health and fitness journey.
Exactly.
I also feel for myself when I go to the gym and I leave my kids at home on their iPads, it just doesn't feel right.
Right. Exactly. If you could take them with you, you'd be like, oh, well, it'd be so much better. So yeah, we encourage that.
Exactly. What are the most popular activities of the RWG community?
It's a really good question because it's divided into two parts. Reason being is we've got summer here, and summer in Saudi Arabia is incredibly hot, as you know. So it gives us very little options in terms of keeping active. So for summer, it's definitely our mall walks. So we're not only based in Riyadh, we're also based in Jeddah and Dammam, where we have team leaders based. So for summer, it's really hot, but it's important to keep active, right? You can't sit at home all day.
Right.
And just in terms of just maintaining a healthy lifestyle, you do need to move. So the mall walks by far for summer are super popular. And we do a lot of yoga here in Riyadh. I'm hoping to bring that online very, very soon for the Jeddah ladies. But yoga seems to be really accelerating in Riyadh. So we have a lot of partnerships where we actually offer it for free, introducing people to yoga as a form of, it's another form of exercise. It's really nice for the mind, body, and soul. So that would be probably the second thing. And that's all year round. And then we've got bike rides that are pretty popular. Our online workouts with myself, they're really popular because the ladies can, if they can't make it online, they like to watch it at their own time, do it at their own time.
Okay.
They know us, they feel comfortable with us. So that's really popular as well.
And how often are you doing the online workouts?
We do them 3 times a week, every week. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 9 to 9:30 in the morning.
And what kind of workout is it?
So we have an interesting setup. So it's really, if you've never exercised before, we modify the moves so you can do them. But if you're an exerciser, you know you can't do the same workout every day because the body fails to respond at one point. So you don't see any advances in your health, whether your goal's weight loss or weight gain or muscle gain, whatever, cardiovascular fitness. So we'll do everything from HIIT to Tabata to resistance. Deep stretching. We'll do a little bit of everything. And every Wednesday, I ask the community across all the cities, and we call it members' choice. So the members get to tell me what they want. So most of the time they enjoy, they often like sort of like a Pilates, like a deep stretch, like a relaxation time. But up to me, I wouldn't allow that, but we go with members' choice. So yeah, they get to pick.
Okay.
So it's an interaction. It gives them involvement and it gives them a say on what they
Yeah,
want.
that's a good idea. That's interesting. So you were saying you're in Riyadh, Dammam, Jeddah. I was always curious because it seemed like your community, the RWG community, grew so quickly and you're spreading across the kingdom. And I was thinking, of course, Zuzana can't be at all these activities and meetups around the country. So how do you ensure that these activities are like properly welcoming new members and, you know, just creating the energy and vibes that you bring to your own classes and meetups?
So we've got team leaders, RWG team leaders. It's a process. It's a hard process because these people are individuals that commit their time to me and the community, and we're looking for people who have a specific set of skills that are people. They're people. You know, they want to integrate with other people. They want to listen to other people. So we spend a lot of time working with these individuals, to ensure they've got what we call the RWG persona. So to make sure it's enjoyable, all our team leaders, we make no judgment on anyone, and we accept everybody. So, you know, whether you're a Saudi or you're an expat, whether you're a couch potato, you've never moved to we make no judgment. And I think that's a big thing, you know, when you have an event or when you're greeting people, to make no judgment and have no expectations of people. That takes all the pressure off them. They can be who they are. So that is a really important thing. And then that welcoming part is part one. And then the sports or the actual activity that's hosted by the team leader is delivered by a professional person that, yes, they do have experience in the industry. That person might be a certified trainer. That person might be a certified body combat instructor. So they all have skills that are relevant to the industry. Maybe they already actually work in one of our RWG team leaders. She is a certified and internationally qualified yoga instructor and embodiment coach.
Wow.
So we bring on these people to work closely with us, and they deliver us activity. And, you know, through that activity and through sports, you create this, you modify, I think, you know, that human, what would you call it? Like a mood, you know, that human, you start to become, you get active in sport. You do let's say you do a body combat class or a yoga class and you finish it. You have now felt like, oh, I'm confident. I did it. Oh, I've got discipline. I got through it.
Yep.
And then this really positive vibe from that experience of that one individual, it actually becomes cohesive between the group of ladies. And then that promotes this really positive, charged up environment.
Absolutely.
So it's a combination of a few things that ensures the success and the positivity of our events. Therefore, I don't need to be at them all.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you're welcome everyone. From what I've seen, I mean, you're one of the few like community groups, large community groups that especially expat women can get involved in. And has welcoming everyone posed any certain challenges? Like, have you had some members come in and maybe they don't share the values of the group and they just kind of, you know, are looking to connect, but maybe it's not, they aren't bringing the positivity that you want? Is that something you've had to deal with at all?
We really haven't had major issues like that, to be honest with you. But we do, it sounds funny, we do have a little bit of a what I call an in-house screening process.
Okay.
So what does that mean? So we get hundreds of messages on Instagram, and, you know, my WhatsApp number is all over the place. So, you know, I keep myself deliberately accessible to anyone. I do apologize if someone has tried to contact me and I haven't replied. It's just the magnitude of messages we get. When everybody wants to come and be actively involved with us, we encourage them. They say, oh, can you just sign us up and send us an email, or can you add us to a WhatsApp group, or can you just give us this? Or we actually say no. We say, no, we don't do that. You need to come to an event. Come and join us on a walk. Come and say hello and give us your opinion on the event. If you liked it, let us know, and then we're going to give you your free membership. So you tend to have the people who come and they didn't like it, so you don't hear from them.
Okay.
But for the most part, people do interact, and they even send you, and I often would send them a message saying, how did it go? Oh, it was amazing. I met your team leader, Aoud or Roa or Danya. They were fantastic. You know, so yeah, it's just kind of how we do it, because we want to know our members. We want to know everyone's name. We want to know everyone's faces.
It's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
I follow your Instagram account, which is growing daily, and you are amazing at promoting the community, and it seems like almost every activity you do is put on social media, and you have your group members engaging with the content. Is there any kind of strategy behind that? A lot of our audience will be entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, or people who maybe want to start their own community group. Do you have any suggestions about the social media strategy that you can share?
Good question. And I'm probably going to repeat a lot that you've probably asked this question many times. And I think my answer is going to be similar to everybody else's. I would have to say there are probably 4 key strategies. And number one, and I think everyone hears this all the time when you ask this question, is identify your audience. Who is your audience? Because you can't move forward unless you know who you're targeting.
Mm-hmm.
So that would definitely be number one strategy 101 is who are you targeting? Who is your market? Know your market, definitely. Number 2, I worked in the marketing department in this company when I used to work in Dubai. And one thing I learned at a course I went to, and I really sort of resonated with me, is you don't need to be on 50 different digital platforms. You've got X, which I think was Twitter before. You've got X Threads. You've got Instagram. You've got Facebook. You've got Snapchat. You can use WhatsApp. You can use YouTube. I mean, the platforms are endless.
Yeah.
Endless. So my recommendation is stick to 1 or 2 platforms and do them well.
Yes.
So identify your audience, pick a platform where maybe the majority of those people are hanging out and communicate with them. Yeah. So number 3 is you have to be aware of the trends in your industry. What's going on. So we're in the fitness community, the sports industry. So what's going on, said under the current, leadership of this country, the 2030 vision is a mandate of quality of life. If you can read it both in English and Arabic on the internet. It's actually a really nice piece, and it talks about the equality of men and women having access, fitness, having access to being able to become fitter and living a healthier lifestyle. So, it's worth having a look and investigating, where is the government going in the future with this industry?
Mm-hmm.
And let's have a look, who are the other people in that industry with the same vision going that way, and kind of have a look at your competitors. Have a look at what our other groups around us are doing.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be going this way and everyone's going that way. Because no matter how much you go that way, you're just going to segregate yourself from everyone else in the market because they're all headed in that direction, not that direction. I would probably say they would be the 3 key tips I would give. I mean, there's so many, but they would be the biggest. And obviously content, everybody knows this. The content's important that you post.
And who's creating all this content?
So it's actually myself and the team leaders. We don't actually want like this pristine, amazing, like National Geographic kind of portrayal of what we're doing. We want kind of realist.
Yeah.
We want to be in the nitty gritty, like taking photos from down here and, walking around a room. And we want the real feeling. We want the emotion of being between. So it's myself and the team leaders. We want it to be organic. We want to connect with, we had a lady on our walk yesterday and she had a baby in the carrier. This is a real woman trying to get fit.
That.
Yeah, how cool was that?
That was a pretty big baby.
Yeah, he's 11 months old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
Yeah. It's amazing, so
amazing.
It's real women, and you want to get a snap of that because that lady is going to inspire so many other ladies to go, well, I can actually do that. That's a flat route in the wadi, but she's got a baby carrier. She can do it. And all the other ladies are like, is it getting heavy? Do you want me to carry him for a bit? She doesn't know everybody. So, everybody was willing to carry this baby, So that is what we're trying to show, it's real people. Then, if you've got like your professional photographers, don't get me wrong, they do a great job, but we just want, we want real women with the real picture. That's how the content is created. We try and get bloopers. My team and I were always kind of constantly trying to, we were at a tournament, we were trying to do behind the scenes photo, like falling over and doing stupid stuff because we're not perfect. And this is what the ladies like to see that, we're real. We make mistakes. We fall over. We do silly things.
You talked about working with SFA in the beginning and how they were such a great supporter of the RWG community. Are there any other groups or organizations in the industry that you've been able to partner with or link up with and help to expand your initiative and your goals?
Absolutely. In Riyadh has exploded with fitness communities. There are so many, so many. One of my personal favorites, and I know they're going to love hearing their name, is RUR, which is the Riyadh Urban Runners. They're a unisex group. They've got runs for men, they have runs for women, they do runs together. And they're a very knowledgeable group when it comes to running, and they're very accommodating if you've never run before. There's a new group, again, they'll be excited, the Click. They're a running and walking group for women as well.
Okay.
So, there are some, and there are some really great groups, and we have worked with some of them before. We worked on it was a virtual marathon with RUR, and that was a huge success. So we try to, and then there was the recent breast cancer month, where we got together with them for a family run, to promote breast cancer awareness. So yeah, absolutely. And everybody in the community, particularly in Riyadh, everybody wants to support everybody. It's not like a little group's like, no, don't come and look over here, don't take our, members. A lot of the groups work together. It's a really nice community here in Riyadh.
I have to imagine that's true, especially in the health and fitness industry.
It can be really competitive.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
No,
Okay.
no, it can be very competitive.
Yeah.
But this particular group here in Riyadh, there are a lot of lovely groups that do work to unite together.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you do anything to address the nutritional element of health within your community?
That's a good question. I've been asked this a few times. I'm actually in discussions at the moment with a company that does nutritional meal plans, because it's a very diverse community here. And having there's not kind of one thing that fits all here, if that makes sense. Nutrition, yes, it's a huge part of, 70% of what you put in your mouth contributes to what you physically look like. So it's such a big thing. But culturally, this part of the world is used to eating certain ways that may not be conducive to living that healthy lifestyle. So there's a bit of an educational aspect here that needs to be addressed. So we only really touch the surface of it.
Okay.
But we're looking at, as I said, we're actually just in discussion with somebody to help us on that side of things.
Great. Can you offer any general recommendations for local healthy prepared food or
there is one place that I would like to recommend, and it's called the Tree House.
Okay.
Now, what makes this? It's a small cafe. You can order and pick up. You can dine in, delivery or whatever. It's a small cafe in Riyadh, and it only serves locally produced food, and the food is amazing. It's natural, not always organic, but the food is fresh. If you're mindful of the calorie intake that you're putting in, and your carb ratio to protein and fiber and so forth, it is a fantastic cafe. I would highly recommend it. I personally love it. I think it's fantastic.
Where is it?
I don't think it's too far from the center of town.
Is it on the delivery apps? Do you know?
Do you know what? I actually don't know, because I've only ever been in.
Okay.
But it may be, because they do delivery.
Oh,
but
okay.
if you go, there is only one treehouse in Riyadh.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can't go wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great recommendation.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Are there any staple foods or supplements that are really important for you and that you think would benefit the majority of others? I know everybody's very different, but maybe there's a few things that have worked for you.
Being in Riyadh, I've got
general.
Oh, I was gonna say, for Riyadh, I have one recommendation, because it's so hot. It's not a nutritional fact, but I would say water. Drink lots of water. It is so important, especially if you're being active. It's already hot, and you're already thirsty, and then you're becoming active on top of that. And the lack of fluid can lead to severe health issues. It can lead to dehydration, can lead to things like organ failure, coma, death, being extreme. But really here, aim for your 1 to 2 liters of water a day. And things like lettuce, tomato, cucumber. If you're diabetic, don't recommend it. But things like watermelon, they're really high in fluid, hydration content. So I would recommend things like that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Any general advice for people considering moving to Saudi Arabia?
Absolutely. Be open-minded. Don't take the practices, the cultures, and the customs from your country to this country, because you're not going to enjoy it. It's different. And that doesn't just go for Saudi. That goes to any country you live in. Come with an open mind and just let loose. Enjoy what's given to you.
Do you have any advice for someone who's been trying to become more active and establish like a regular fitness routine, but just has trouble staying consistent?
That's a good question. I do get asked that.
I think it's a common challenge, right? People will start or be active for a while and then kind of fall off the bandwagon.
Every health fitness professional have their own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be 100% honest. I say these to the ladies. I hear stories every day from women about this. Oh, I have the motivation, or there's an excuse, and I did it for 3 weeks. I came off, and it's up here. It's in your head.
Yeah.
Until you are mentally ready to take that first step in your fitness journey, it's going to be difficult. You have to be mentally prepared to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to plan your time.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot of time. You can start with 20 minutes a day. That's all you need. Just do it. Start with 3 times a week. But I think the worst thing is, and I think a lot of professionals will see this, is that, I've got to do this, and 7 days a week, 3 hours a day, that's going to last a week, and then this is what's going to happen. So, particularly this culture, it's health fitness and health industry, it's new.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to go a million miles an hour. Slow down. The Saudi Federation for All, you get onto your app store. They have an app, and we are on that app. Not just us, but there are hundreds and hundreds of communities all throughout the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that's listed. And you can filter and say, I'm looking for a women's group. I want a women's walking group. I want a beginners group. Go and have a look for a group. Look for a sport that you like.
Yeah.
Maybe you like hula hooping, or maybe you like roller skating. I don't know, dancing. Look for that group that you like something. Don't do running if you hate running. You're not going to stick with it. So I think that would be my greatest tip. You need to be mentally prepared. And once you've mentally got there, look for something that you actually enjoy doing in terms of being active. A lot of my Arab friends love dancing. Go and find a Zumba instructor or a class. If you want to be a bit more relaxed, do yoga. But don't do something you don't like doing, because you won't stick with it.
Great advice. Well, that brings us to our rapid fire questions.
Oh, yeah.
And the first one is your least favorite fitness activity.
I just mentioned it.
You did?
My instructors know, all my team leaders know what it is. Dancing. I hate dancing with a passion.
Kidding.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Place to go for inspiration.
I love my bikes, so not motorbikes, cycling bikes. So my inspiration is getting on my bike and hitting the road, just out in the desert, just completely desolated, away from everywhere, empty thoughts, nothing going in through the head. Best feeling ever. Yeah.
Great. Favorite restaurant in Riyadh besides Treehouse?
So everyone's going to go, oh yeah. You know what? The only reason I'm going to mention this place, because I love acai bowls. Like that frozen berry mixture with the fruit on top.
Yeah.
I think Batil does the best one. Batil.
Oh, really? Batil?
Yeah. I know it sounds weird, and I'm only mentioning it because I absolutely love that one dish. And it's healthy. So that's it, yeah.
Yeah. And Batil, at least when I go there, I feel good about what I ate. I know that they use the top ingredients and clean food, but I feel good after.
It's just that one bowl I like
that one
so
bowl
much.
you
So
love.
that's why I have to say that one.
Okay. Biggest annoyance?
I'm too busy to work out. There's always time.
Well, you got to make time,
it's
right?
It's got time management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite Saudi brand or product?
Nino Soft. Nino Soft. You wondering what that is? It's ice cream. So they actually have an outlet in the DQ in Kindley Plaza. So they've got the most funkiest ice creams. So you can get it in a
Oh,
cup.
9.
9, yeah.
Okay.
9 soft. It's called 9 1 soft, 9 soft.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about the O soft or
Yeah.
1 soft part.
9,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, so
Okay.
9, and they do the funkiest ice creams.
Yes, they do.
So I like the tangy mango, but some of my team leaders, they love they actually put chili on the mango.
Yep.
And then you've got tiramisu cheesecake. They've got everything.
And it's fresh. You can tell it's
Yeah.
like fresh mango.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's a really awesome brand. And it gets really hot here, so
Yes.
ice cream all the way.
So what are your plans for RWG in the coming years? It sounds like everything's happened pretty organically. Do you have a plan?
The answer is yes and no. No, I want to no, we don't have any crazy plans. But yeah, we do have a plan. And the plan is to maintain that focus of taking the bulk of the country here, of the women's population that have never really been active, and just getting to move. You know, culturally, you know, a lot of women haven't moved here before in Saudi. So we want to take them. We want to say it's okay. You don't have to be a fitness professional. Just move with us. And hopefully we can then get them walking, we can get them dancing, we can get them riding bikes. And then when they feel confident, we can move them on to other clubs where they can actually learn to run or do something a little bit more intense. But that's our goal. That's our real big drive right now.
How can ladies get involved with RWG?
2 ways. As I mentioned before, we're on 2 platforms. So number 1, Instagram.
Okay.
So it's just RWG_community. And the other one is the SFA app. So Saudi Federation for All in the Kingdom design an app. Not just for sports clubs, but there's a lot of things like there was, well, we're actually December now, but in October it was World Diabetes Awareness Month. So they had a challenge for people to move, I think it was 7,000 steps a day over a duration of number of days. So every day you walk 7,000 steps. The reason I mention this is they reward you for moving on that app. So, you know, you earn points for accomplishing your steps. Those points turn into a big point, and at the end of the year, that can be possibly exchanged for nice gifts. So this is a really nice way to motivate people. You know, you just wear your watch. You can wear a watch, or you can keep your phone in your pocket. It monitors your steps. So if you're a bit scared to meet new people, if you don't really like integrating with groups, or you feel like, oh, I can't speak English or Arabic, or I don't know if they'll accept me, this is a nice way to start. So you can start with the challenges on the SFA app. And then when you're ready, you could go into groups, and then you can search for groups. And all our groups, including us, we list all the activities we do during the week. And you can just click attend. And then you can also send us a message, and we'll respond back to you on there. So that's one way. And then obviously the other way is on Instagram. So pretty easy apps to use. They're not difficult.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
What does success mean to you?
So I actually Googled this. The definition of success is accomplishment, or the aim of achieving a purpose. So my purpose with this community is movement, is to create a healthy, active community. So that is what I consider success, is that we are we're sort of penetrating this culture and saying, hey, let's get active, let's get moving. And they're doing it. So that, to me, I consider success is the accomplishment of achieving a goal.
Great. Any last words you would like to share?
Don't be scared. I had a lady yesterday, I think, she messaged me on Instagram. She's like, oh, I would really want to join you, but I don't know anyone. And I really want women who are in that same situation, don't have any fear. The team is really welcoming, and you're not the first one to feel that way. Yep. There are so many ladies. We had a couple of ladies that were their first time on their own yesterday to we went on a Wadi Trail walk.
Yep.
By the end of it, they're all chatting and having a great time. So I just want to give reassurance. If it's your first time, don't have that fear. Come along and try it. If you don't like it, that's okay, but at least you gave it a try.
Thank you, Zuzana.
Thank you.